Beat Making Basics.
What's going on YouTube? Beat Making Basics back again with another dope video. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe as well as give me a thumbs up. It does help out the content and the channel. But without further ado, let's get right in. Now today's video is actually going to be a subscriber slash viewer video. Okay, so what this means is we're going to take one of the comments that we have and do a video based on your request. So I've been asking, hey, what do y'all want to learn next? We have, I think this is Yarik. He said Logic Pro 10 loop and song arranging shortcuts. So guess what? This is what today's video is going to be about. All right. So we've been building this beat. The loop is pretty much done. Before we actually get into the shortcuts, the first tip or shortcut or hack that I'm going to say to do is organize this loop and organize everything. Make sure everything is clean. As you can see, we have some other stuff here. We need to get rid of that. So first things first, I always would recommend going ahead and pushing Shift Command S to save as. And what we're going to do is save as a new session. Whatever session you're on, just put another number after that. And there you go. Now we can just come over here to all of this stuff that we're not going to use and delete it. And the reason why I want to keep it still in another session is just in case I want to come in, maybe work with another part, make a whole nother beat. You know, there's a lot of things you could do with it. But now that we have everything organized here, if you don't already, make sure that you go through here and rename all the instruments and stuff like that. But since we've done that, we don't have to worry about that part. Now, the next thing you're going to do when it comes to like arranging loops and stuff like that into song format, first things first is to listen to the different parts of the beat. All right. Now it's pretty common that, you know, you're not going to necessarily need to worry about the drums part. It's really going to be the melody that's going to be switching out the most. Okay, so what I would do is we just listen to each part and see what will go well for the intro, the hook, and then verses. So usually for the intro, you want to basically just play melody. So let's just listen to this sample and see if this is going to be the best part for the intro. All right, so after listening to your melodies, you know that this one is actually going to be the best for the melody. And so what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead is I'm going to just take this, hold down Option and drag this over. And since I know that this is going to be the melody for the intro, I'm just going to highlight everything else and mute it right here in the workspace window. How we do that is push Control M. So that's Control M is going to be a major hack that I'm going to be using throughout this process in Logic Pro 10 to arrange your loops into song format. Okay, so boom, we have our intro already, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Another thing you could do after you get your first part done is you color code that. You know what I mean? Highlight this and you can go over here to the top left of the screen and see where it has this little arrow. Click that and then go all the way over here to your colors. And then I can just color that something, you know what I'm saying? So let's just color it blue. We know that that's your intro. Boom. Next, we're going to work on the hook. All right. A lot of times the hook is going to have all of the instrument parts in there. So all of the drums, you know, all of the melody parts, or maybe you might take certain melody parts out. But let's just listen though. Now, in the last video, we took this sample that we created from scratch and we upped the octave on it. We doubled it and then upped the octave on it. So that's part right here. Those two guys played together. That's going to be the hook. And then I'm going to also just play all of the drums. All right, now the only reason why I'm not playing this third sample right here is because actually in the last video we put what's called like a low pass filter on it. Basically we took out all the highs. All right, so that's not gonna happen. Not gonna play that in the hook. So now all I have to do is push Control M and that's gonna mute that part out and we have everything we need for the hook. Again, what I'm going to do is color code this, so I know now that this is going to be the hook part. But before I do that, I'm just going to take this and drag this over by holding down Option. So now we can go ahead, come to this guy right here, come to colors, and maybe we might make the hook orange. All right, so now every time we see the orange, we know that that's going to be the hook. So let's continue on. Now we're going to need to put 2 parts for your verse, okay? This part and then this part, right? So what we could do is we take this and we can drag this on over. And let's go ahead and color this verse as well, so we don't get confused. I'm gonna make the verse green, maybe like a different green, like nah, we'll make it purple. All right, cool. So now the verse is gonna be purple, and we can easily see what our different sections are. All right, we know that this part, the blue part, is our intro and probably our outro. We know the orange part is our hook, or our, you know, what they call a chorus, and then we also know the purple part is gonna be our verses. Now, what I found is that, first off, in the first part of the verse, the kick can be removed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and push Control M to remove the kick, or to mute that out in the mix. And then you can also build, because basically what you want to do is build this beat. You know what I mean? You don't want to come back in like, you don't want to just to be like a constant flow with your loop going the whole time, no changes. You want it to build. All right. Another thing we could do here is, we know for sure that this sample part number 2 is only going to be played during the hook. So what I can do is I can mute that out during the verse. That's never going to play during the verse. So if you remember this third part, all right, I'm actually going to bring this third part in for the beginning of the verses. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and mute out this second part. So what's going to happen is, you're going to play the beat. It's going to have this filtered melody part for the first part of the verse, and then on the second part, we're going to go back to this melody that we used for the intro. All right, and then the kick is going to come in. So another thing too, we might not put all of these like hi-hats and everything like that in. We might want to like build this beat up to all of that. So let's just listen to it and see what can, you know, be took out, or, you know, added or whatever. All right, cool. So I kind of have an idea of what I want to do. So basically, when the verse begins, is this going to be the clap, the snares, and that's it. You know what I mean? And then as the beat starts developing, we'll bring in the hi-hats. Okay. So for instance, you just saw me mute this out by pushing down, holding Option and the letter M. So it's going to start off here, a little bit of percussion with the clap, the snare, and then it's gonna build. All right, the beat's building, and it comes in the hi-hats, and then the beat builds with a switch up here with the kick coming in. All right. Another thing I like to do though at the end of the beat of the verses, excuse me, is just go ahead and cut out some of the beat. You can either cut out the whole beat like a measure before, or even like a half measure before. And this is gonna add like a little dramatic effect. So like, for instance, I'm just gonna go ahead and play this beat, like starting like right here. You'll be able to, or maybe right here, you'll be able to hear it come in, and then right here, it'll come back into the hook. All right, so as you can see, that's a pretty dope hack right there, just to help you lead into the actual hook. So from here, it's just going to be copying and pasting. So we can either copy and paste it by holding down Command C and then pushing Command V to paste it. But I like to go ahead and hold down Option, just drag it on over. And since everything is color coded, we actually already know what's going on in the music. Now, I don't think I'm going to do 3 verses. So what I can do is just delete that. Or actually, no, I might need to, because I think the beat's gonna be too short if I don't. So we're gonna do like this. There we go. Delete this, and then now for our outro, all we're gonna do is take our intro and drag it to the end. All right. Now you don't have to do it just like how I'm doing it, but just use some of the hacks that I'm showing you when it comes to editing. You know what I mean? You can come over here and have it come in different ways and different things like that, if you will. Now let's just listen to how it's coming in and flowing. We'll play it, and then you can also add some variation here if you want to. And pretty much it's going to continue to do that each time. So these are pretty much some good like hacks when it comes to arranging your loops into song format. If you follow some of these hacks and these tips and these shortcuts, you'll probably be able to do this no problem easily. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and can't wait to see you in the next video.